Hey, welcome from Chair to CEO, the podcast for beauty pros who are ready to grow a business that feels just as good on the inside as it looks on the outside. I'm your host, Amanda Smearman, salon and spa owner, educator, mentor, and your go-to for all things leadership, mindset, and business behind the chair. Whether you're dreaming about opening your own space, building a high-performing team, or just trying to juggle life and clients without losing your mind, I'm here to help you turn that hustle into something sustainable, profitable, and aligned with who you really are. Each week, we'll dive into real talk about growing your beauty biz, leading with heart, navigating the ups and downs of entrepreneurship, and building a life that you actually love along the way. So grab your coffee or your color bowl, and let's get into it. Hey, friend. Welcome back to From Chair to CEO, the podcast where we ditch the overwhelm, own our power as salon owners, and build businesses that don't just survive, they thrive. I'm your host, Amanda, salon owner, mentor, your ride or die when it comes to leading a business with strategy, systems, and sometimes a little sass because it's necessary. Today, we're going to get real about a phrase that exploded in our industry during the pandemic: charge your worth. Now, don't get me wrong. This phrase started from a place of empowerment. It felt like a rally cry for so many of us who had been undercharging, overworking, and just burning out. But somewhere along the way, I think it got a little twisted. And honestly, in some cases, it probably has done more harm than good. So in this episode, we're going to talk about why charging your worth isn't the goal and why focusing on value instead is the real path to sustainable pricing, confident leadership, and loyal clients. If you were working behind the chair in 2020, you know. The world shut down. We lost income. Some even lost salons. When we came back, we were exhausted, we were drained, and we were ready to demand more. I know in my experience in my salon, when we reopened, we had such a huge demand on our time, and we were going off of prices that we had previous that were not, let's just say they weren't sustainable for my business and the model that I had set up in my business. So we actually didn't raise prices. I want to preface all of this. We did a pretty, I don't want to say hefty, but pretty strong price adjustment in February of 2021. And I actually don't regret it at all because it really helped balance out the income of my team and they were super happy. But I feel like in some ways, we did some things wrong when it came to this, and we're going to discuss all of that here on this podcast episode. So the internet was telling us when we reopened from COVID, girl, you better charge your worth. And like I said, at first, it felt empowering, right? Like, yes, I do deserve more. I've been undercharging. I've been killing myself trying to squeeze in every client. It's time to stop. But here's the problem. We started tying our price to our personal worth. Not our business, not our strategy, just our feelings. And guess what? Feelings, they don't pay the bills. They don't attract loyal clients. And they definitely don't create a sustainable business model. Now, when I said that we did that pretty hefty price adjustment in February of 2021, that was in an effort to get my business to where our pricing was going to make my business sustainable. And that's exactly what it did. We've probably done 2, maybe 3 minor adjustments since then. And I feel like we're in a place now where I am letting things balance out because we were on the verge of outpricing our market. And that's really important to know what your market can withstand when it comes to your prices. So let's dive into a little bit of that. Let's dive into why charge your worth hurt more than it helped. We can break it down with some real world effects that I've seen again and again. And like I said, I've lived this. We did price increases without structure. And when I say we, I mean as an industry in general. I'm not saying me specifically. I'm not saying you specifically. I'm saying we as an industry in general. Stylists started adding 20, 40, even $100 to their services without any added value or communication. Clients often felt blindsided. Some didn't come back, not because they didn't value their stylist, but because they didn't understand the increase. And here's what I always tell my team. I am fine with somebody saying that we're too expensive. What I am not fine with is someone saying we are not worth it. Those are two very different things. And I need you to understand the difference between the two and why one is okay and one is not okay. We often did emotional roller coaster pricing. When your prices are based on how you feel about yourself, every no-show becomes personal. Every reschedule makes you question your worth. And it's a dangerous place to run a business from. There was confusion in the market also. Clients didn't know what to expect. You'd have one stylist charging $85 for a root retouch and another charging $200 in the same town with similar experience. No clarity around why. And that kind of erodes the trust. But I'm going to also add this. I am a firm believer that our prices should not be based off of what the salon down the street is charging. Your prices need to be based off of what your goals are, your supply costs are, your overhead is, all of that kind of stuff. And we'll dive into that here in a few minutes. So I don't believe that any two salons in the same town need to be charging the same price. But you can see the disconnect where there's one charging $85 and another charging $200 for the same service. If you're in the same town, I can see the disconnect, but you have to explain why your prices are the way they are to your clients so they can understand it as well. I'm going to caution everybody to get away from saying, my supplies went up. Because here's the thing, anybody can go on and research. And if you're raising your prices because your cost of color went up $1 or $2 a tube, to a client, that doesn't justify a $20 price increase. Okay? So we really need to stop saying, well, my supply costs went up. When we say that we need to raise our prices, clients really don't care. And they don't understand it the way that we do. And it's not their job to be honest with you. So make sure that you are actually being able to explain the value that you are bringing to your clients when you're discussing price increases. Your worth as a person is infinite, but your services, they are a product, and products need pricing strategies. So this is why value-based pricing is better. This is my opinion. It's what I believe. We price based on value, what the client receives, the experience you deliver, and the results you create. Let's break it down into actionable steps, though. Step number 1, know your numbers. I went several years of owning my salon without knowing my numbers. And I went several more thinking I knew my numbers. And it wasn't until my last mentor that I had started with her in September of 2024. And I highly recommend her program. It's Kate Zarvis with the Lead program. Highly recommend her. It wasn't until I started with her program that she literally broke everything down. And I actually, for the first time in, at that point, 8 years of being a salon owner, understood my numbers on such a deep level that I knew what every single thing meant. And I knew like everything about my business at that point. You cannot price confidently if you don't know your cost. What does it actually cost you to perform that service? What is your product usage? Do you have an allowance that if you're doing a root retouch, how much color is included in the cost of that service? Meaning, if I allow 1.5 ounces of color for a root retouch, I need to be charging my clients anything I use over that. So knowing how much color usage is allotted in your base price for your color services. What is the time spent on it? Time is money, especially in our industry. How much time is being spent? What are your overhead costs? So your rent, your utilities, your booking system, your credit card fees, your refreshment bar, if you offer refreshments, your front desk, any other little amenities you have, all of that. That's your overhead. And honestly, most importantly, what's your profit margin goals? Profit margin, if you are independent, let me be very clear. Your profit margin is different than what you take as a stylist pay. So if you are used to paying yourself 50% of what you make behind the chair as an independent artist, your profit margin is not included in that. Your profit margin is what is left over after you have paid yourself, after all of your expenses have been paid. What is left over? What is your profit margin goals? Is it 5%? Is it 10%? Is it 20%? I don't care what it is. It's your business. But you need to know what your profit margin goals is. You're not just covering your color tube. You're covering the shampoo, the foils, the rent, the booking software, and yes, even your retirement savings. Step number 2 is to evaluate your demand. Do you have a wait list? Are your books 80% or more full? Are people willing to wait or book further out to see you? If yes, your demand is high enough to justify a price increase. But if you have open gaps every week, raising prices without a plan may hurt more than it helps. I've seen this happen. Step number 3, build a killer client experience. If you listened to last week's episode, you know I am big on client experience. That's why I picked that topic to launch this new podcast series. This is where most stylists, though, miss the mark. You can't charge premium prices if you offer a basic experience. I'm not knocking a basic experience. If that's what you want to offer, if that's you, and that's what your clients enjoy, by all means, offer it. If you want to charge premium prices, you need to offer a premium service. Premium doesn't mean luxury, though. So don't get that twisted. It means elevated and consistent, meaning what you do for every client, you do for every client every time. Smooth online booking. Make sure that process is so simple for them. Confirmations and reminders. Consultations that actually consult. Rebooking before they leave. And follow-ups after their appointment. And guess what? Conveniently, that's exactly what's inside my client experience toolkit. Because when the experience matches the price, your clients will happily pay for it and come back consistently. I go over all of that in the toolkit. So if you haven't checked that out, it'll be linked in the show notes. Step number 4, communicate your value. If you're going to praise prices, communicate why. Your clients aren't mind readers, but they do understand things like, we've upgraded our color line to improve hair health and longevity. We've added a new technology to reduce appointment time and increase your results. Our team now includes assistants to ensure you get more focused time and a smoother experience. We recently implemented a new software system that allows us to help reduce the waste of color. Help them connect the dots between price and value. You'll reduce resistance and build the trust with them. So how do you know if you're ready to raise prices? Here's where it gets a little juicy. I actually created a free checklist called the Service Pricing Confidence Checklist. That's a mouthful. And it's going to walk you through the real indicators of readiness, not just your gut feeling. Inside, you'll check off things like, do you rebook at least 60% of your clients? Are your services timed consistently? Do you track your experiences and service profitability? And is your client experience consistent from start to finish? If you check 10 or more, you're probably ready. But if you're missing a few, that's your growth map right there. You can grab it free using the link in the show notes or visit amandasmearman.com. It'll be linked at the top of the page. Now, look, I'm not here to bash the charge your worth movement. I know where it came from. I lived it. I get it. But friend, your pricing should not be about your worth. It should be about your value, your strategy, your demand, and the transformation you provide to your guests. When we shift our mindset from, I deserve this, to, I've built this, everything changes. Your confidence grows, your retention improves, and your income finally matches the work you're putting in. So here's your homework. Number 1, go ahead and download the free pricing confidence checklist. Number 2, be honest about where you are. Number 3, use that insight to start building value, not just higher prices. And if you want to speed the process up, my client experience toolkit is your roadmap. It has everything you need, including some script examples, consultation questions to ask, a team training checklist, and a load of other things, all conveniently located in 20 pages of this toolkit that you can use and implement immediately. You've got what it takes. Let's just build the structure to support it now. All right, guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me today on From Chair to CEO. If this episode resonated with you, I would love if you shared it on your stories and tagged me. I'm on Instagram at Amanda Salon Stylist. Until next time, keep showing up, growing up, leading with heart. From the chair to CEO.